Now we are going to be using this particular data set as an example of how we can use the naive Bayes classifier. Okay, so we are a little bit familiar with this data set at this point, but just a quick reminder about the data set. The idea, this is an academic, a quite popular data set that we use in order to explain different supervised learning methods. The idea of this data set is that we can assume that this is my training data set, okay, and the idea is that we're going to be collecting data about players, golf players, and then we decide if a given day, they play or they don't play golf, given the current weather situation, weather forecast that we have for that particular date. Okay, for example, this day, we can see that the outlook was sunny, the temperature was hot, high humidity, and it was not windy, and this particular player is not playing. Okay, this is the information that we computed, probably because it was too humid. So I'm just trying to understand that, to give a reason. And then this other day, it was sunny, hot, it was high temperature, and it was windy, and he didn't play either. Okay, so that N means no, that the outcome is not playing, and P means that the outcome is playing. And this day, for example, it was the outlook was overcast, it was hot, it was high humidity, and it was false. And this day, the player decided to play. Okay, remember that this is just data from previous days of previous players that, based on the current situation, they decided to play or they just decided not to play. And the idea is that, okay, so basically this is we collect this information. This is my training data set, and now we're going to build the model. This is going to be a naive Bayes model in order to predict that we get a new player. We want to predict if this player is going to play or is not going to play. Okay, so basically we are going to call this guy John, and then one day John is going to come, and then we're going to get access to the features, this information, and then we will see if John is going to play or if John is not going to play. We're going to build that system using naive Bayes. That's the idea. And again, this is a popular data set. We will be using this data set in the future as well. And we use a little bit of this data set in the previous examples as well. Okay, so basically what we have to do now is that, okay, first step is that we have two categories or two classes. One is going to be yes, and the other one is going to be no. And yes means that it's positive. So basically all these ones are positives, or yes, the player decided to play, and negative means that the player is not playing. Okay, so these ones here are the negative ones. And basically the first step, remember that we need to compute all these probabilities. Step number one, we want to see, for example, the probability of playing, probability that we will see a yes in all this in the training set, in the training data set. So in this data set we have 14 samples, what we call samples, or entries in the training data set. So we have 14, and 9 of those are positive. So we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We have 9 out of 14. So with this information, this is going to be the probability that we can find a yes, we play in this data set. So can you think a little bit about the probability of this conditional probability? So try to get you can pause the video, stop the video, and try to compute this information. So this is the conditional probability. So remember that for the conditional probability, what we want is to the probability that a given action is going to happen, given that we know some information of the situation. Okay, we know that we want to compute the probability given that the outcome is yes. Okay, so basically what we want to do now is that we focus only in the positive or yes examples. Okay, so we remove this one, that we have here in order to compute this probability. Okay, in this conditional probability, And what we are going to be doing now is that we are going to be looking into how many outlook Sunny we have out of all these selected examples that are positive examples or yes. So basically we are going to look how many Sunny we have. So this is not Sunny, this is not Sunny, not. We have 1 here, we have 2 here. Okay, so basically the probability of this is that we have 2 out of, we already know that we have 9 positive or yes examples in this one. So basically this conditional probability is going to be 2 out of 9. You can get you can calculate that and then you will get the actual probability for that. Remember that this conditional probability, we are looking at the outcome of, we are looking at the probability of a particular situation given that we know partial information. In this case, the partial information is that the class, the category is going to be yes, that we play golf. Okay, so basically this is 2, again 2 because we have only 2 instances here where the outlook attribute is Sunny out of 9. And all we are doing now is computing all these probabilities as we were doing before for the previous example, for predicting the name of, predicting the sex of a person given the name. But now we are doing this with more information, with more features, and we will be seeing that. Okay, so basically we focus, this is what I was just mentioning before, we focus this information and then we compute that the probabilities, this conditional probability is going to be 2 out of 9, and that's basically because we have 2 instances, 2 examples in the training set that the outlook is equals to Sunny, and we have 9 instances. And now, can you try to compute this probability, this conditional probability of humidity high, given that we are now going to focus in the opposite, in the other category? No, that we don't play. So please complete this. What we're going to be doing now in order to compute this is now what we have to do is that we focus only in the no. So now what we're going to do is we forget for this particular probability, we forget about this portion of the training set, and now we are going to be looking into how many humidities high we have of the total no examples. So we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4. Okay, so basically the probability here is 4 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 examples. Okay, so this is going to be the probability, this is going to be the conditional probability for this particular situation. And this is basically what we're going to look. We don't consider this one here. And and then we can keep going and computing all these probabilities in order to get all the possible values for the naive based classification process. Okay, so I let you compute more conditional probabilities in order to see what's going to be the outcome of that particular situation. So try to get that and then we are going to be continuing with this example in the next live lecture via using Microsoft Teams. Okay, so have a nice day, and I will talk to you in a couple of minutes. Bye.